Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and today I'm going to be building set 40567, the Forest Hideout. Now this is an homage, a re-release, if you will, a redesigning of the set I did in the previous video, set 6054, Forestman's Hideout. They've gotten rid of the Forestman and just went with Forest Hideout. But it's very much an homage, as I said, a re-release. This is part of the 90th anniversary, so they're redoing some classic stuff and building stuff in that classic style. And for us older LEGO millennials, this has just been an absolute joy to have. But this was a gift with purchase. You could get it in LEGO stores or on the Lego.com by buying at least, I think it was $150 worth of stuff. Train? A train would probably do it. Their trains are quite expensive. I ended up with two of them, one from an online order and one from an in-store order. They did re-release it in August, but unfortunately by the time I made my purchases, they were sold out already, so I'll have to live with two, which is plenty. Anyway, this is a fun little build. I have actually previously built it, but as I said in the previous one, the lighting and the filming was atrocious and useless, so gonna do it again. Here we go. We'll start with the minis. Like the original one, we get two minis. Unlike the original one, they are slightly different. They've got a new torso, but it is still very similar with the red ruff or red bit around the neck and red arms. They both have that, though one of them is now female, and rather than a hat, just has hair. So that's probably why they got rid of the Forest Man's Hideout and just went with Forest Hideout. I like the new torso. I like that they are identical. So the torsos are the same for both the male and the female, which means if you wanted to make two females or two males, you easily could. But I like that. They are armed. She has a sword. He has a bow. And that's that. All right. Let's build. And there it is. And it came with the usual plethora of spare parts, including an extra sword. Which, I call it extra because it's not on the parts list. At least I don't think it is. Let me check the parts list. Yeah, it only lists one sword. So it is, in fact, an extra sword. Which is nice, because unlike the previous one where you got 3 spears, a sword, and a bow, this one comes with a spear, a sword, and a bow, and the 2 shields. We do still have a target. It's a much fancier target. In fact, the whole thing is fancier. That's kind of the whole point. We'll take a look. It also... oh no, we've lost a mushroom. It closes up like the previous one did. Very nice. Does have the little entrance like the previous one did, but what this one has that the previous one didn't is this one actually does have a staircase that allows you, or a ladder, that allows you to get up into the upper section. Now, obviously, when that's closed, you can't reach any of that, so it really doesn't matter, but that's the kind of improved detail that LEGO has been adding. And they're able to do that because this uses a lot of modern parts. In fact, I would almost say the majority of the parts in this set did not exist when the previous set came out. And that allows for a lot more interior detail because there's a lot of more smaller parts and more complex techniques that are being used. Rather than using just sloped bricks, they're using curved slopes on the outside and on the inside, and it gives it a much more organic feel. It makes it feel a lot more natural. There are still some square parts where they could have gone around if they felt like it. The branches are obviously a lot more complex than the previous one. The previous one were just arches. We do still have a barrel. It does still have pips in it, but now they are gold pips because gold parts exist now. So, gold pips, and there is a little spot on the far side for the barrels specifically set, which again, you couldn't actually put that there previously because just the design didn't allow it. Really, really cool. The roof does still open up. You know, you can still put a minifig, though actually there isn't as much of a platform here in the previous one because the ladder has to go up through there. So a minifig doesn't fit there as well as they used to. The spear is silver now instead of brown. Not sure what's up with that. And there's only the one, where the previous one had actually 3. So let's bring in the previous one. Let's take a look at them side by side. From a distance, yeah, they look very, very, very similar. We've got the same number of minis. Like I said, our target is much more detailed. Before it was just a hinge with the target stuck on it, and now it's multiple pieces and a little brown wooden looking legs and a more detailed bullseye and all of that. And that's just, again, more advanced techniques. One of the neat things that have changed over the last 34 years. There's 34 years between these sets. This one came out in 2022. Yeah, they both open up. They're both about the same size. And they have about the same amount of foliage in most of the same places. They're just slightly more detailed. This one doesn't have any vines. This one had vines that the characters could swing off of. Not sure why they ditched the vines. There's only the one tree on the new one, the one little tree. This one had a little and a big tree. The base on this one is round. This one was square, but it's roughly the same area. Yeah. A wonderful homage, in my opinion, and a wonderful demonstration of the evolution that LEGO has gone through in the last, like I said, 30 years. Much more advanced techniques in this one, much more complicated parts, detailed parts, and I like that. Another thing I found kind of interesting, this one, there's grass on the inside. And on this one they actually did put a full plate down on the inside, so, you know, little details. Both of them have that red flag. Both of them have the 2 shields on the front and the same basic design. It's really, really cool. I appreciate that they didn't just re-release the old set exactly as it was. I like that they demonstrated the evolution, the advancements, the changes that have happened, and what they can do now that they couldn't do back then. I find that to be really fascinating, a fascinating evolution. Now, they did still do it in black, a black tree, whereas they could have just as easily done it in brown now. Now they have those parts. And I have actually, I mentioned briefly in the previous video that I had made a brown version on my own at some point. Made a couple other changes. I added more gray instead of the black up here. So the whole building looks like it's made out of stone now, but the tree actually looks like it's brown. And this was just me having fun. I thought it would be neat to see if I could do it. There were some parts that didn't exist in brown, or at least I didn't have them in brown, but I did it as closely as I could with the parts that I had available. And yeah, I think that's fascinating, having the variety there. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think of the 90th anniversary Forest Hideout, as well as the original and my brown version over here. Comment. What sets would you like to see done next? I may or may not have them. A couple of them are already coming. Obviously the big castle. I also have a couple of the 3-in-1 castle sets. I've got the 3-in-1 castle and the Viking ship. Those will be coming soon as well. And thank you for watching.